From the kitchen restaurant in Sacramento, California, Sunfed Ranch brings you Beef Hacks with Michelin-starred Chef Kelly McCown.
We're actually at one of my favorite places to be, behind the stove. So the first thing we're gonna do is make sure the pan's nice and hot. Turn your fire down a little bit, just in case once you put the steak in there, you don't want it to splatter around too much and cause a big fuss. Also, it's helpful if you have a hood over your stove at this point to go ahead and turn it on. So we at the restaurant use a little bit of rice bran oil, but you can use canola oil, anything that has a neutral flavor and a high smoke point. Do not use olive oil. It will just burn and stick to the pan. So we're gonna start by putting a little bit of this oil in there, okay? And you can put a fair amount in there. I think for this size pan, I've got a 12-inch skillet or so. I'm gonna put about an ounce or so of oil. All right, and then we're also going to put just a smidgen of butter, not too much, but that's gonna help in starting the caramelization, especially with the grass-fed beef, which has a tendency, you want to kind of sear it at a slightly lower heat, all right? Now, we've already seasoned these. We cured these overnight, so we don't need to add any more additional seasoning to us. And then we're gonna just place that in the pan, all right? And then just a little bit of butter to start. Once again, that's gonna help a little bit with the caramelization. Another thing to do that people do is make sure that your oil swims around a little bit, and then also lift up your steak just a little bit. Sometimes it has a tendency, especially the cured meat, that if you put it in there, it kind of pushes all the oil out of the way and then just sort of sticks to the pan. All right, and we're just gonna let that on a medium or so, medium-high heat. Just kind of let that brown. Now at this point, you can see that it's already taken on a really nice sear on there. Once again, with the grass-fed beef, you need to be careful. You don't want too hard a sear, otherwise the crust is a little tough. You want just enough on there, a nice caramelization. Then once you get that sear nice on both sides, you can check the other side. Another little handy tip is as you're searing the beef, tip the pan up so all the oil pools at the other side of the pan when you flip the meat over. That way none of the oil splashes back on you. Once we have a nice sear, people always ask at the restaurant, why doesn't food taste like this at home? I'm about to show you why. We're gonna take a copious amount of butter and place it in the pan on a medium-high heat. You're gonna let that butter caramelize slightly, and then we're just gonna baste over the top of the steak. Adjust your heat if necessary. What you basically wanna see is a nice foam on the top of the steak, all right? If it's not quite foaming up, go ahead and kick your oil up a little bit, or if it looks like it's burning and getting dark, then turn it down a little bit.